Well, it is Election Day in Illinois, as we've been telling you, and this is a live look at the new voting super site in Chicago at State and Adams. According to the Chicago Board of Elections, around 188,000 people have already cast ballots by mail or by voting early before the polls opened.
I'd like to thank the over 185,000 Chicagoans who have already voted ahead of Election Day. We will see how many people end up turning out today, but the turnout numbers so far have been encouraging.
Today's congressional primaries will, of course, set the stage for the midterms in November that will determine the balance of power in Congress for the next 2 years. Illinois voters will choose Democratic and Republican candidates for the U.S. Senate and House seats, among many other races today. And joining us now for some analysis is Tabitha Bonilla, a political science professor at Northwestern University. Thank you so much for joining me, Professor.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it. Now, let's start with the Senate primary races, which is a huge race. 10 Democrats, 6 Republicans are looking to replace Illinois Senator Dick Durbin when he retires at the end of his term. So with so many names on the ballots, do you anticipate this being a competitive or close race for either party, both today and then maybe quickly looking ahead to November?
I think on the Democratic side, it definitely feels a little bit more competitive, I think, than the Republican side. I think J.B. Pritzker has put his support behind current Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, and she seems to be trailing Raja Krishnamurti, and I think the two of them have kind of traded back and forth between vying for leadership in this, but I just think, you know, Raja has had more money and more public support. So, and on the Republican side, I think polls indicate that there is a clear leader, so it may look to be that we have, you know.
But, you know, with so many candidates, there's certain to be a spoiler, if you will.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? I would be stunned, wouldn't you, if any Democrat or Republican candidate really won with a huge margin.
Yes,
in
and
the primary.
I think that's correct. And I think polling seems to indicate that, you know, some of these people are within the margin of error. So, so we can certainly be surprised.
Yeah, as we often are sometimes on primary and general election nights. In Chicago, it looks like turnout so far up to this morning is strong. I mean, as of last night, the Chicago Board of Elections saying more than 188,000 people had voted early, and that's about 73,000 more than the same time in the last primary election or election in 2022, and around 57,000 more than 2018. So what do you think is behind the larger turnout so far this year, and what can you take away from that?
I think there are two important things going on. I think there's a lot of energy among Democrats across the country. We've seen this in races in other states in November. We saw it in Texas. Democrats are upset with the way things are happening, and so I think they're going to turn out. And then secondly, here in Illinois, we have a lot of very competitive primary races that are probably going to decide who ends up winning the election in November. So we have 4 open House seats, we have an open Senate seat, as you said, and so I think these are really big draws to bringing people out.
Right, key, you know, it'll be key in November. Now, I know earlier this month, primaries were held in Arkansas, North Carolina, Texas, Mississippi, and in Texas, Democrats set a voter turnout record, right? So how are Democrats watching Texas and other states as they look ahead to the midterms? I mean, can we say, oh, what's happened in Texas or another state will reflect on Illinois, because Illinois is a strong blue state?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I think the general energy of Democrats being upset is probably going to bring people out. Will it shift the overall balance for Democrats in the House or Senate? Probably not. These are very safe Democrat seats. But I do think in general, pointing to high Democratic turnout is probably to be expected.
I have to ask you, I mean, you know, so lots of early ballots cast, but it is really cold out today. I mean, and in your opinion, we've seen it impact voter turnout on actual election days in the past. Are you concerned, as somebody who I would assume supports voting, that the weather might keep people home?
Yes, please vote. It's possible it is cold, but it's also not snowing, which, you know, I think for precipitation, that helps, right? We're not so worried about ice and sliding today. So I think we'll see. But I think like pointing to the bigger picture of what's happening on a national scale, how people are reacting to President Trump. what's happened with ICE, even here in Chicago, is those are as big of drivers, I think, if not more than the weather.
Big issues, some big key races. It'll be interesting to see how because sometimes it's very low voter turnout in Chicago, especially in a primary. We'll see how that shakes out tomorrow morning. Professor Tabitha Bonilla, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Sounds good.